After a triple header in Europe, it's time to head to Singapore. For the first time since 2019, we're racing at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. So in a week's time, we move over from Singapore to the Japanese Grand Prix as well. Then a 2-week break before a back-to-back with USA at the Circuit in the Americas and Mexico City as well. Then a further 2-week break before the season rounds out with a doubleheader, the Brazilian Grand Prix at Sao Paulo, and then United Arab Emirates with Abu Dhabi to close out the 2022 season. Max Verstappen leads the Drivers' Championship and it's his first chance to wrap up the 2022 season here this weekend. He leads by 116 points to Charles Leclerc in second and Sergio Perez rounds out the top three. George Russell in fourth then as well with Carlos Sainz fifth. They are the only drivers in contention to possibly win the title, but they will need an absolute miracle. It looks unlikely. For the first time in over a decade, Lewis Hamilton is out of a championship running position. Not since 2011 has that happened this soon. Lando Norris is P7 as well. He's holding off Esteban Ocon. Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas and Pierre Gasly wrap up the first half of the drivers' page. Kevin Magnussen is level on points as well in 12th position on the second half of the table. Sebastian Vettel is 2 points back. He's leading with Daniel Ricciardo. Mick Schumacher moves up to 15th place as well, a point clear of Yuki Tsunoda. Zhou Guanyu 17th with Lance Stroll 18th. Then comes the three Williams drivers. Alexander Albon has 4 points. Nick de Vries putting in an amazing achievement last time out, getting 2 points. Nicholas Latifi, now dropped from Williams at the end of the year, is still pointless. Can he get a point for the end of the season? And Nico Hülkenberg 22nd after only running 2 races at the start of the year when Sebastian Vettel had COVID. And in the Constructors' Championship, Red Bull lead the way on 545 points. Then it's Scuderia Ferrari in second place as well. They are rapidly being caught by Mercedes. Alpine then are in a battle with McLaren, although look like they've got that just about sorted. Alfa Romeo have pulled away from Haas, who are now only a point clear of AlphaTauri. Aston Martin are trying to join that fight, and Williams now have 6 points on the board. After a very wet free practice 3 session, the track is beginning to dry out. It's time for qualifying hour here at the Singapore Grand Prix. Let's take a look around the Marina Bay Street Circuit, a 3.152 mile circuit, 61 laps ahead of it as well. It was Formula One's first ever night race and is still the most demanding on the calendar. Good exit out of turn 23 and launch down towards turn number 1. It's a flat braking zone as well. The first 3 corners really do surprise you and always gives us a great start to the race. 1 and 2, hard braking zone towards turn number 3, a third gear, second down. Now move up, 4th gear, 5th gear, 6th gear, 7th gear as you rattle through down now. Raffles Boulevard, open up the DRS, 8th gear maximum as you hurtle down towards turn 7 at Memorial Corner. Great opportunity for an overtake as well, a perfect chance to mess up and go straight into the barrier. Now the track tightens up in towards turn 8, 9 and 10 as you come past Stamford as well, into this run down past the Raffles Hotel and down now towards the Singapore Sling. Into the corner, quick flick to the left, back on the power before the new modified complex as well, as we go over the Anderson Bridge. Into a very tight hairpin down at turn 13 and looking for some. We've seen overtakes there aplenty. Downhill then with the third DRS zone as well towards turn number 14. Slap on the brakes from 7th gear. Down to 2nd gear, control the exit as well. The car can easily rotate around you on here as well. Back then into 17 and 18 now through the Esplanade. Back where Nelson Piquet crashed deliberately back in 2008. Underneath the grandstand as well, it's a vibration that is felt lap after lap. 19 and 20 coming up then as well through these very tight chicane. You get so close to the exit wall here. Drivers often flirt with danger. Flip it through turn 22 and 23. 2 left-handers to finish the lap and across the line. And that is a lap at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Hello everybody. everybody, and welcome to qualifying coverage for the 2022 Grand Prix of Singapore. We are back at this wonderful venue for the first time since 2019, 3 years away, and trust me as well, the drivers and teams have been itching to get back. It's the toughest race on the calendar. It's 23 corners. It always goes to a 2-hour time distance as well, and it's been made extra tricky here today as well with the addition of rain as well. And the track has dried up a lot since the end of free practice 3. Even then, the track had started its drying process. So we should be getting maybe an intermediate start to qualifying, followed then by a dry tyre throughout as well. But there is another rain cell just about coming in just outside the circuit that could play a factor as well. Rain is predicted tomorrow for once again. So it's anybody's guess what could happen in qualifying here today as well. Now, we've got all the action and we've got all the guests as well, because joining me in the comms box now, if I press button 2, should be Josh and Synthel. Afternoon to you both, and starting with you, Synthel, as well. Qualifying once again in Singapore, always a best one out on the circuit as well. What are you most looking forward to in this one? Oh, sorry. Try that again.
To the limit.
Once again, because we're on mute. Go on.
Yeah, it's going to be pushing to the limit, of course, in street circuits especially. That's going to be very interesting. And now there's still a wet line. It's still not good enough for slicks, I think. So it's going to be very interesting, especially I think turn 20 and 21 is where they often are in the limit. Maybe not now because of the wet parts on the exit, but it's going to be very interesting qualifying, and it's just going to try and keep it out of the wall.
And Josh, we've come in here as well. You've got a pretty interesting stat where since 2013, where it was Red Bull's last pole position, in the hybrid era we've raced here, it's either been a Mercedes or Ferrari on pole position. Is that right?
Yep, it's due to be a Mercedes this year if it continues. And if Max Verstappen or Sergio Perez gets pole, it will be the first Red Bull pole in Singapore since 2013. So
and was that Sebastian Vettel?
We will have to see.
Was that Sebastian Vettel?
Yes.
With yes. I couldn't remember if it was Vettel or Webber at the time there as well. We're about to hear from Ted Kravitz. Good luck is at the moment is that we've got, I would say blue skies, but it's a night race as well. So we've got clear skies out there as well. There's not a lot of rain looking like falling. It looks dry in the pit lane as well, which is all good news. Hopefully, this is going to be quite a quick session as well. As you can see, the driver tracker is open with TweetDeck at the same time as well, as we wait to get that open for when Ted has got news for us down in the pit lane in a few moments' time. And the Singapore circuit is an absolutely fantastic one. And let's bring you straight up to date as well with what happened with the cost cap drama. Now, this morning in the team's press conference, Christian Horner swore blind that, according to his knowledge as well, Red Bull were actually under the cost cap from last year as well. Mercedes as well, obviously Toto Wolff saying that if there have been breaches from Red Bull, it has to be very heavily policed from the FIA, this cost cap as well. Also coming in as well, Ferrari being said that there's been more bugs in the system as well in terms of cost caps, and Red Bull were spending too much last year. Toto Wolff and Ferrari saying that they're both using older parts, Red Bull were using newer parts as well. And then McLaren's Andrea Seidel saying as well that Red Bull have stolen some of their people with very large salaries, which they shouldn't be able to afford with the current cost cap. So it's been running on again and again and again throughout the session as well. Now, we believe Mercedes have got something on at the moment because Ted Kravitz is down in the pits. Ted's at Mercedes.
Thank you, Simon. Yes, I think down at Mercedes, it's always going to be a concern for them in qualifying, getting whatever tyre they're on up to temperature. But judging by the mechanics around here, there's a lot of standing around and not much activity. So I don't think if there is something they can do about it with a setup, that they're actually in a rush to do anything. Just a little bit of final fettling going on Lewis Hamilton's car. A little bit more attention on George Russell's car, especially towards that side pod that seems to be going back on and the back of the car. But yes, as you say, Mercedes only 9th and 12th in free practice 3 going into this qualifying session, but in those wet conditions. We don't have a judgment from the stewards yet on Lewis Hamilton's nose piercing. It seems to be the question is what penalty there will be, because clearly the nose piercing was back in when the rules say, if you've been following the story like we have the whole of the season, that you can't have piercings as a driver if you're in the car. I'm trying to find out what's happening. I believe if the piercing was back in, then there'd be a very good reason for it. I can't believe Lewis Hamilton wouldn't have it in, because he knows the rules just as well as anybody else does. Right. Sergio Perez, only 5th fastest and struggling a little bit. Look at him on the side of the garage there, just thinking about where he might find some pace in this Red Bull, because it was Max Verstappen who was second to Charles Leclerc at the top of the times in FP3. There is Verstappen with the championship clearly now in his reach for the first time this weekend. He looks cool as a cucumber, if you can see him behind Helmut Marko and a photographer there. So he looks like whatever conditions, he'll be happy to go into qualifying. But it was Ferrari who were quickest. Charles Leclerc P1, Carlos Sainz P3 going into this session. So actually Sainz and Leclerc look like they're in good shape. Let's have a look on the pit wall here at Ferrari to see if we can see a radar. Yes, we can, just above this engineer's head, and that's a good sign that we can't see any blotches of blue on there, and that's really good that there is no rain ahead. And just finally on Lando Norris, he was pretty slow in free practice 3, but McLaren assure me that there are no issues with the car, and they're actually confident that Ricciardo and Norris can have a good performance now it's drying out.
Thank you very much, Ted, down there in the pit lane at Sky F1 as well. And if we take a look as well at the current state of this circuit as well, it's a 5.063 kilometre circuit, 61 laps. First race here was back in 2008. It's a 308.706 kilometre race distance. Lap record is a 141.905 as well. The pole position time from 2019 was a 136.271. So there is time to be improved there, guys. And hopefully as well, Synthel and Josh, we're going to be seeing a very entertaining format for qualifying today. Synthel, who do you think will be eliminated from Q1?
Oh yeah, it's very difficult now because of it's going to be a bit wet in Q1, and I don't know how quickly the track will dry up, because if it will be drier at the end of qualifying, it's going to be crucial to set your to maybe be the latest to set a lap then to be higher up. So even in Q1 we might see some surprises, but if I got to guess, it's going to be, I guess, the 2 Williams, the 2 Alfa Romeos didn't look very good as well, and then random guess, Ricciardo. I don't know.
Good guess. Josh, what do you think?
I'm not even going to say his name, but I'm going to say it anyway. Latifi.
Latifi being out.
Yes.
Your mic's a little bit loud.
Even in the wet.
Yeah, your mic's just a tiny bit too loud. But yeah, I think Latifi will definitely be out as well. Alexander Albon, it'll be good to see if he can get into the next part of qualifying as well. As you can see, we've opened up TweetDeck, but not much is on there, bar spamming of where you can watch the qualifying session as well, which is always annoying as well for people, but we've still got at least situations coming up. We may as well press button number 2 now and get rid of TweetDeck away. Say goodbye to TweetDeck. We don't need that anymore. Qualifying then, Q1, it's an 18-minute session as well. Predictions, maybe even red flags we could see as well. It's certainly going to be one of the longest qualifyings of the year. Extra lap time here, just like at Spa as well. So 2-minute lap times. It's a 2:30 out lap. 1 minute 50s you can expect for a good lap in these type of conditions as well. So it's going to be fun to see exactly what we've got coming up. As you can see, the timing tower is F1 TV's timing tower at the moment, as we're not sure if the T feed is working at the moment. We've been told it's ready. Anyway, stand by, get ready. It's time then for the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix qualifying. Alongside myself in the commentary box is Josh and Synthel. Megan Birch is also joining us in the commentary box shortly as well. 3 qualifying formats, 18 minutes. For the first time since 2019, it's time for the hottest, most grueling qualifying of the year. Track temperature is up as well. It is at a high of 27 degrees. It's time for qualifying. Let's cross over now. It's time to get underway then and start the qualifying hour here at the Singapore Airlines Singapore Grand Prix. It's hot, it's grueling, and it is demanding, and it is the best race of the year. Always goes to 2 hours, always going to be entertaining. And of course, we haven't raced here since 2019. It's Formula One's first ever night race back on the calendar. The 3.14 mile Marina Bay Street Circuit winds its way round Singapore's central city, and it is absolutely flat out. 23 turns, flat as well. 5.3 metre is the maximum elevation change. To combat that, Pirelli have brought the three softest tyre compounds, the C5 red, the C3 medium, the C3 hard, and of course we've got the green intermediate and the blue wet weather tyre, which might be needed as well as track conditions are less than optimal at the moment as well. But we are all set for what is going to be an absolutely fantastic qualifying. Air temperature 26 degrees, track temperature 27. And before we say hello to Josh and Cynthia and Megan, eventually joins in the comment box wherever she is, let's say hello to Martin Brundle and David Croft.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be back here. It's a challenging racetrack, and especially these 2020 cars that are very stiff on the tyre sidewall and suspension. You see them moving around a lot, but we've got the fastest cars in the world, the finest drivers in the world, apparently. We've got slick tyres, intermediate tyres, extreme wet tyres. If in doubt, send them out, I say, and let's see what they can do around what is unquestionably a challenging racetrack, and so they should be.
From what I can...
Absolutely, as well. And good afternoon to Josh and to Cynthia as well. Cynthia joining us for the first time in the qualifying commentary box as well. Synth, nice to have you. What's your anticipation coming into qualifying today?
It's going to be an unpredictable one because the track is still wet and mistakes can happen. It's always the case in street circuits, but maybe now in the rain especially, that it's also up to other drivers. Maybe you cannot just cross a yellow sector, yellow flag, and that there is, or a red flag, which could ruin your lap. And it's all sort of things that could change the outcome, and it's going to be a very interesting one.
Josh, we can see our TV pictures at the moment that it may look dry, but it's far from it actually, looking at the circuit. Lots of standing water just offline, and the running towards turn one as well looks pretty damp.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, can you hear us?
There's been no track accident between practice 3 and qualifying. Yes, hello.
Hello, sorry. Yep, we can hear you.
Hi.
Little glitch, but go on.
Yeah, of course, there's been no practice qualifying or a race between practice 3 and qualifying today, as sometimes there is. So it's just had to dry under its own accord. Of course, we've had vehicles out on tracks, safety cars probably done a couple of laps to keep an eye. Low grip conditions, risk of rain for qualifying is 20%. But we're about to get underway. The drivers are lining up at pit exit.
Well, we've got more time to go as well, and they're still lining up at pit exit, which is a bit of a surprise as well. We've got 15 seconds actually left, 50 now closing in, and George Russell's at the end of the pit lane. They are looking like they're going to go out on intermediate tyres as well, which is what we predicted. We've got the timing open as well in case we need it. Looks like the T-feed still might be broken as well, which is a surprise, but F1.com is helping us with their new and improved driver tracker as we get ready. 20 seconds to go until the green light as well, as the situation is about to open up here in Singapore. For the first time in over 3 years, it's time to hit the accelerator and get going. Are you ready? Because here we go. The green light is open at the end of the pit lane, and away we go. George Russell is the first car on the track, and immediately on the pit exit as well, you can see the water that is still lying from the rain this morning in free practice number 3. But as soon as we head to turn 3, yeah, there's a little bit of oversteer, there's a little bit of dampness on the track as well. I would say, guys, it's a bit of a mixture. It's half wet, half dry, and I think at least Q1 will be on intermediate tyres.
Yeah, it's going to be waiting, and maybe the track will dry up eventually enough to be for to go to slicks. But then it's going to be the question: who's going to be the first one to take the risk? Obviously, no DRS just yet enabled because of the wet track, and it's going to be a very interesting one. And they're going to try and keep off the white lines and keep at the curbs as much as possible to not have too much oversteer.
Yeah, well, it would help if we actually saw the track angles from before the session as well, because we were thinking it was dry in the pit lane, but out on the circuit, it is still very wet. There's a few dry lines appearing, but loads of standing water once again, Josh, down the back half of the track as the two Mercedes of Russell and Hamilton come through. And I can see someone throwing in the wall. We often see a red flag in qualifying, but it seems to be increasing up here.
We're definitely going to see a red flag in qualifying, I think. Air temperature 29 degrees, track temperature 32 degrees, humidity 78%, 81%. As well, unfortunately, T-Feed not working, but we've got alternatives on board with Lando Norris now, and it is really a half wet, half dry track, a very dry in track, and let's hear from Norris.
So I think it's okay.
And the problem is,
Yeah, so Lando says it's okay to continue the qualifying on, which is good news. Ocon has been looking quite strong as well out there on the circuit. So it's Ocon, Russell, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Gasly, Tsunoda, Norris, Latifi out there on the circuit. They've all gone onto the intermediate tyre as well. Everyone from Leclerc below has remained in the pit lane, as you can see on the timing tower just alongside us here as well, up in the commentary box. Russell starts his first lap time just, Josh, as everybody piles out the pit lane. That's going to be insane amount of traffic as well, as you can see on the driver tracker.
Yeah, that really is. Russell might have to abandon this lap. Big switch there. The plumes of water coming up the spray. It's still quite damp in places, overtaking one of the Ferraris there. Going down towards, we'll get the sector 1 time 31.405.
And I'll tell you what, Cynthia, as well, the anticipation right now is through the roof, because everybody now knows exactly what is at stake. If you make a small mistake here in qualifying, you're going to be straight in towards the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. And is this the first qualifying in the wet for a night race?
Yeah, I think it is actually the first qualifying. I can't think of any other wet qualifying sessions as well. Megan Bird's just joined the commentary box. Morning, Meg. Is this the first wet night quali race? We've had a we've had a wet race, haven't we, here in the night in Singapore? But we never had a qualifying in the wet before. But anyway, hello. Are you all right?
Hi. Yeah.
Ready for a wet quali?
A chocolate's going through.
Yes, I see. Well, we've got a new driver tracker and we've got a new timing screen because the T-feed is just broken at the moment. So it's standby action at the moment. Russell's twitching the car. Go on, Josh.
Is an issue with the database, no ETA when it's fixed. That's from the runner of T-feed.
Well, that is not great news at all. So let's hope we continue having these timing towers. Ocon is currently on the fastest times, and he'll be the first one to set some boards. But it's going to be Russell who is going to be lighting up the timing screens. He's got green sector 1, purple sector 2. Hamilton's got the opposite. Purple sector 1 with green sector 2. Norris green in 2 sectors. Russell crosses the line. There's a 1:57.099. Hamilton is just behind him as well and goes top with a 1:56.937. Synth, is that a good lap time, or are we going to see that dramatically drop when the track eventually starts to dry out later on in Q1?
Yeah, it's definitely going to improve constantly. So you might want to be the last one to set a lap, and then you can be high up. There was some glitch here because it said the 2 Haas drivers were on the softs, and I just what? But now it changed to Inters.
Oh, I was going to say, because it's saying that on our screen up here in the comms box as well. Soft tyres for Magnussen and Schumacher as well on our driver tracker as well. So we'll see if that is correct or not. But the T-feed's gone down. But at least our F1.com is working correctly, as we can see things coming through. And Sainz, Megan, 2 tenths up.
He is, and Latifi 6th.
Oh, good time for the Latifi, actually. 2:01.011. He's 4 seconds off the pace at the moment.
A little bit of sliding there.
That's Lewis, who's pulled out to the side. Sainz is having a little bit of an oversteer moment as well in these intermediate conditions, just trying to keep things up and running. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Ferrari can do. They've got a bit of an open goal, haven't they, Megan?
Let's hope we don't miss it.
Yeah, because they were quick in practice as well, and Verstappen hasn't actually topped a session this weekend. It's been Sainz FP2,
Let's hope
Leclerc
they can do
FP3.
something then.
Yeah.
Though I've just written some of the weirdest thing ever.
What?
Because my independent study test for law this week was to write a scenario of voluntary manslaughter on both loss of control and diminished responsibility. I wrote about Homer Simpson killing Ned Flanders.
Pretty much how it's going to feel here today, to be fair, on this one. As
Gasly.
I was about to say, yeah, Gasly's jumped up to P5 with Sonoda P4 as well. Some great times there, Josh.
Yeah, but Gasly, and there's a yellow, quick yellow in track sector 7, which is turn 8. But have a look at Gasly and Ricciardo. They were separated by 5 thousandths and still are separated by 15 thousandths
I
now.
like that. The lights turn yellow when it's yellow and green as soon as it goes back.
Yeah, so something on the side of the track as well. Sainz goes fourth on a 158.131. Here is Leclerc in the middle sector. Gasly jumps up now to P5 as well. Stroll goes third. Wow, well, that's a surprise and a half on the books. Lance Stroll jumps to third at 156.997. It looks like our timing screen is 4 seconds behind the TV pictures at the moment on one screen, not on the other though. It's bang on.
Caused
Magnussen,
the
yeah.
yellow at turn 8, and now there's a yellow flag at turn
sector 13.
15 and
Look at
16.
Leclerc.
So who's down there? It is, I think, who's passing Magnussen? It's Schumacher. Schumacher rejoining the
Back
track.
on.
Yeah, so Schumacher just having a little error there down the back half of the track, and
Leclerc?
that spoiled Max Verstappen's run.
Yeah, though it did a very good job just in time for Charles Leclerc because he's gone up into first.
Synthol as well. That's not good for Mick, is it? Just losing out on the lap time there. He's going to have to regroup, but he's now stuck in the middle of the traffic.
Yeah, this is what I said earlier as well, because you gotta. It's a bit up to others as well, because if there's just a yellow flag ahead of you, your lap is finished as well.
So let's see what we can do as Perez jumps to third at 156.061. Great job there. Yellow flag is out, sector 2. And it's gone green again as it keeps
Turn 8
flapping
again.
up. Right, well, for once, our timing pictures are in sync, but not by much up here. And it was Kevin Magnussen, yeah.
So it's been both Haases have gone straight on.
That's
Somebody tells me they need to change their tyres.
brakes problem as well, maybe?
Oh, Leclerc.
Oh, Charles Leclerc. Top on is also going down there at turn 8 as well.
Lucky that was after he went top.
Okay, so it is, as Josh said earlier on, the problem with the T-feed is a driver, so it stopped working. So they are replacing it. Zhou Guan Yu nearly puts it in the wall, twitching through turn 6 as well as they come down Raffles Boulevard into turn number 8. And Hamilton goes top. Hamilton, a 1:54.689, goes to the top of the board. A great job there from Lewis.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I was going to say woohoo as well. And for the first time ever, our TV pictures are completely live with the timing, but it's the timing that's behind. So
It is.
we're having to focus on the TV pictures more than the timing. The timing's 2 seconds behind the timing pictures on the TV,
Usually
which
2
is weird.
seconds ahead.
Yeah, which is super weird. But Zhou's having a bit of a slide coming onto the Anderson Bridge as he comes down into the turn 13 hairpin, down to 50 kilometers an hour. That's about 37, 38, 39, 40 miles an hour. Back on the accelerator now as he hurtles down towards turn 14 and 15. Makes it through cleanly. On the acceleration, doesn't spin it. We've seen that before. It's Hamilton top from Leclerc second. Sainz is third. Russell fourth. Perez fifth. Norris is sixth. Stroll seventh. Ocon eighth. Tsunoda ninth. Alonso rounds out the top 10 as things stand. Now we'll change that because Max Verstappen goes fastest of all on a 1:54.395. So now it's Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Perez, Norris, Stroll, Ocon, Vettel top 10, Tsunoda, Alonso, Gasly, Albon, Latifi as well. And then the drop zone below, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Schumacher, Bottas as well. Bottas goes 16th across the line. Zhou goes 14th, 1:58.667.
If Verstappen can win this weekend, isn't the title decided?
It's got to be. He's got to outscore Perez by 14 points and outscore Leclerc by 22 points. But,
So they both need to be out.
and Max needs to win. Max.
So
has-
Perez's job will be to
take out Leclerc. Yeah.
Yeah.
How conditions, Max?
Yeah, well, it's still intense.
Okay, understood. That's first question answered.
Yeah, so
Yeah. So still intermediate conditions out there as well, and I doubt it would change. To be fair, the the track isn't that great for slicks just yet. Maybe the end of Q2. There is a dry line starting to form since, as we can see, through the back half of the track, but it's definitely still Inters.
Yeah, and we've got another yellow flag.
Sector 3.
Who's it this time?
Can't see it.
Turn 18.
I think Yuki Tsunoda
this is it.
could be.
Well, this is Stroll. Green flag now.
Just need to get these three riders out
So
of
it's
the way.
down here.
Yeah.
I think
I
it
think-
was Tsunoda because Norris has gone through.
Oh,
Albon.
Yeah. I can't see properly because everyone's just there.
Everyone's right in the middle. As Josh said, it did come up as Albon.
Oh, I miss when they pack race when it comes to the yellow flags.
Yeah, it's all coming through as well. Here we go. Cross the line. Stroll goes
Do you
fifth.
think this session will get to dry tyres, or is it a second set of inserts? I think second set of inserts. Copy.
So Daniel Ricciardo thinks it's going to be a second set of intermediate tyres. Hopefully you heard that back at home.
Ooh.
And they come through. Yeah, Leclerc jumps up to P1 again. 154.222. He's a tenth clear of Verstappen. Hamilton's third. Bottas 17th at the moment, so in the drop zone. Can he get out of it? Across the line. Bottas does. Goes 12th. 157.626. And a bit of a round of applause. Zhou goes 8th. 156.471 as well. And Zhou goes 8th. Sorry, across the board on the timing screen there. As the timing screens have now caught up massively, which is great news. Megs.
Yeah, it is a very good thing that we caught up. Perez goes into third now with a 154 points.
Right,
I
Ted.
think that was something 0.
To the pits, has put a new set of intermediates on and has gone out again. Exactly the same for the two Haas drivers, Kevin Magnussen and Mick Schumacher. And just in front of me, that's
Perez
Latifi
radio.
out also on Inters, team radio.
Max, I was pushing.
We thought you'd abort it.
So even Red Bull don't know what they're doing. Red Bull have no clue about their own strategy. That was unbelievable, since you hear Max was blocking Perez, and then and Max had a slide actually coming out to 13.
Yeah, close to the wall. Yeah, apparently they didn't know. Was Perez going that slow that they thought he aborted? Oh, that's a good save then. Close to the wall. Yeah, then you get on the white line as well. This is Albon in turn 18. Blocking up shoulder, yeah, front left, and then taking to the runoff there.
Yeah, and Albon Megan as well, just 3 weeks after having a respiratory failure.
Yeah.
He's racing at Singapore.
And he actually wanted to. If I had nearly died, I would be like, do you know what? I'm missing the rest of the season. I just want to relax.
Proves how much of a fitness fanatic and a racing fanatic he is as well, isn't it?
It does.
And Josh, did you see as well what we saw? The press conference, do you remember? When we covered it on Thursday, Alex said about how he was actually woke up just after his appendix operation and was watching the race as well, and they had to switch it off because his heart rate was going too large.
Yeah.
Unbelievable stuff. Honestly, what a guy. What a guy, Alexander Albon. Fastest first sector for Max Verstappen, a 30.095 at the moment as well. As this is literally just the app, isn't it, Megan? We're watching up in the comms box at the moment
It is.
to try and work out. We're going to try and actually switch over to sectors and really hope it doesn't mess up the order as well. No, it doesn't, because that gives me and Megan way more info to watch up in the comms box.
It does. It's just further away.
Yeah, so it hasn't messed up the order on the timing graphics. It just means that me and Megan finally get to see some more lap times as
I
well.
got my hoodie.
It's a bit. What do you want me to turn the heater back on a bit?
Now shall I just go grab my hoodie?
Nah, it's fine. I'll turn the heater on. Let's. I'll just put the heater back on to low because it got
you
incredibly
cold?
hot. I'm starting to get a little bit cold. Yeah, it got incredibly hot. Now it's gone again. As well, but order running as things currently stand as well. Leclerc fastest, from Verstappen second, Perez is third, Sainz fourth, Hamilton fifth as well, Stroll sixth, and just come out of the pit lane actually as well for another lap time, so he's going to go full throttle as well. And Magnussen and Schumacher, the two Haas cars, I think they were out since the weather. They were out on soft tyres. Now they've crawled back in, and now they're on the first set of intermediates because it's brand new tyres according to my screen.
No, I don't think they were out on softs, to be honest. I'm pretty sure there was just something wrong with the system there. I'm 100% sure they weren't on softs. It's way too wet for that. They know that themselves as well. And it changed during the lap on my thing, so they were out on inters at the start already.
Across the line comes Magnussen, and Magnussen jumps up into 6th position. Schumacher jumps up into 10th position. So the drop. Yeah, yay Haas actually, both in the top 10, both into Q3 as things stand, so well done to them. So as things are at the moment, with 2:27 to go, I'll tell you in about 27 seconds what the drop zone is, because that's when we start over again. But so far, it's actually looking quite good, this qualifying session, isn't it, Meg? It's quite entertaining.
It is. Let's hope it doesn't dull down during the middle.
Haas did start on intermediate tyres, as per the Haas F1 Twitter.
Ah, so it was a complete error. Okay, here we go then. As we come up, Leclerc's just gone quickest again.
I wonder if they get headaches.
2 minutes to go in qualifying, as you see the 2-minute warning, and now, very handily, these are the drivers currently in the elimination zone. Vettel 16th, Bottas 17th, Tsunoda 18th, Albon 19th, and Latifi in 20th position as well. But that's just changed, I believe. There's a little bit of a mistake there from Albon, Megan, coming down to turn 7.
There is a bit of a mistake. How did they... Look at how their head's shaking about just while forcing.
It's just massively rocking around, isn't it?
They must have to take away the protein.
Proportion was going to be a big problem here in Singapore. They've resurfaced part of the track to try and savour it, but it's not working out. And I'll tell you what, Cynthia, as well, Albon's having a messy lap. He's got traffic everywhere you look.
Yeah, it's a street circuit. It's difficult to get out of the way. They're trying their best. I think that was one of the Haas drivers who tried to get away on the bridge, which is quite an interesting place to try and leave a car past. Albon going 2 tenths, nearly 3 tenths quicker than Daniel Ricciardo.
I'll tell you what, Josh, as well, there's a massive run of cars trying to get out of this Q1 system. They might all just do it, but I think everybody's out of the track because they know the last few seconds of this qualifying are going to be the most important.
Yeah, they are 40 seconds remaining. Gasly, Vettel have got a personal best Sector 1. Gasly, Tsunoda and Albon a personal best Sector 1 and 2, but Verstappen's on a purple Sector 1, a 29.978.
Albon crosses the line, goes into 16th position as well. The driver at risk is Danny Ricciardo. Lewis Hamilton has just gone fastest of all as well. A 1:53.161 as well. Alonso's P8 now as well across the board. Here we go, 10 seconds left of the qualifying session for Q1, and this is how they look. Tsunoda crosses the line, goes into P8 as well. 3, 2, 1, checker flag comes out now. So Tsunoda's completed his lap time. Gasly's next across the line. Gasly goes into P11. That puts Ocon in the danger zone. Vettel and Ricciardo looking good. Ricciardo is up by 0.2 of a second. Vettel too might just get out of it as well. Who's next across the line? Esteban Ocon will be the next one to cross. And there's a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. Who's gone off where? As Ocon doesn't improve. Ocon is out.
Stroll.
Turn 14 is Stroll. Vettel goes 11th, gets himself out of the drop zone. Double yellow now out in sector 12 as well. As Leclerc goes P2. Has that spoiled anybody else's lap time?
Is Alonso down too?
Stroll's gone in the runoff area. We've got a green flag now. So we are back
Is
to
Alonso
normal.
down?
No, Alonso's down somewhere in the board. He's in ninth position, so he's fine. Here comes Danny Ricciardo up the last corner to the line. He's 18th at the moment. Ricciardo goes 16th. He doesn't make it. Ricciardo, a 1:56.226. He's out of qualifying. Schumacher got caught up in the yellow flag zone, I believe, so I don't think he's going to have much time. Here he is in the first sector, looked okay, and he's just crossing sector 2. Is he any quicker than Bottas as well, the driver he needs to beat as he hurls down towards turn 14? Answer to that question is we don't know just yet. Yes, by 0.098 as well. But Albon, I believe, is also out of qualifying. He's been only setting green sector times as well, actually yellows, 31.2 in the current first sector. So Albon is out, Latifi is out, Ocon's out, Ricciardo's out. The question is, will Bottas or Schumacher be out as well? And these two are running it ragged now at the last corner.
What I was talking about was not where he was down in the order. I was wondering whether he'd gone off because he wasn't moving.
No, I think he was just backing off on the lap time, really going so slow. Here comes Schumacher to the line then. It's taken an extra minute to complete this qualifying session, but Magnussen goes 7th, and both Haas cars will be in qualifying too, as Schumacher goes 14th, meaning that in the drop zone, it's Valtteri Bottas, Danny Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, Alexander Albon, and Nicholas Latifi. Wow, what a session that was. What are you thinking to that, Synth?
Yeah, it was really close all the way to the end. Many yellow flags actually. And my prediction was nearly right. Only Ocon instead of Joe was out in Q1. For the rest I've got everything correct. But yeah, that's indeed unfortunate as well for Daniel Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas out of the race. And especially Esteban Ocon.
bad news for Ocon as well. Being 18th fastest, whereas Alonso Megan was 19th as well. So he got through in that session just about. What's going on here? We can't hear anything on the T feed at the moment as well from the pit lane channel, and that's why. So what do you think then, Megan? Alonso P9 as well was just about okay.
Yeah, I thought that was okay, though I was quite worried about... I do think that he had a moment, and that caused his transponder to just say was still there, because he suddenly disappeared for a second after that moment, and then reappeared just like a little bit down, which doesn't make sense in timings, because he was there for like 30 seconds. He should have been inside.
That's a worry if the T feed can't be, oh, hang on, it's now kicked me out and says I have to log in again. Now it's back in. So T feed isn't working still over on the commentary, so that's why we've got the F1 timing app as well. Have no brakes, guys. Have no brakes. That was coming from... Is that Ocon? Yeah, Ocon was Megan complaining he had no brakes, which is a weird thing to say.
I mean, clearly he does.
Yeah, clearly he does.
Otherwise, there'd be a massive crash around one of the corners.
Yeah, so at the moment, the T feed is the wrong device, but luckily we have got another system involved, which is the TweetDeck, so that we can go to another screen in a few seconds' time while me and Megan adjust things in the comms box ready for qualifying number 2. As you can see, those drivers readied out are no longer taking part in this qualifying session. We'll hear also from Christian Horner, who will be on the pit wall shortly as well, talking to Sky Sports F1's Martin Brundle and David Croft. So we'll just switch over now and get everything ready for Q2 as well. Meg's predictions, who's going to be out in Q2? Ocon, good call. Synth, who's going to be out in Q... Oh, hang on, Ocon's already out.
Is he?
Yeah, remember, we've just said it. Is your brain engaged today?
Not really. I'm trying to figure out what next to do.
All right, well, just pick it up. No time. Let's go over to Sky F1.
Magnus.
Let's hear from Ocon now, actually.
The brakes, guys. No brakes that lap.
We had no brakes last lap.
And if there's one place you need
Crofty.
brakes, it's around here in Singapore, 11 braking zones. So if he's having to lift and coast a little bit, you can understand why Esteban Ocon would have lost time. One of 5 drivers we've lost so far. Max Verstappen was the fastest. His team boss, Christian Horner, is with us this weekend. Good start to qualifying for yesterday's birthday boy there, Christian.
Yeah, it's tricky track conditions out there, though, and we've seen here before when it rains, because obviously no sunlight now, it lingers and it's greasy for a while, so it doesn't dry as quick as you'd normally expect.
Do you think we might see slicks at the beginning of Q2, Christian, or still a while away?
I think it's edging ever closer, so you know, it's always that trade before you put them on and get heat in them and get the benefit later on, or do you go a little more conservative at the start of a session like this? So still obviously 15 minutes of running, so you know, still plenty of time with 15 cars running around to dry it up a bit more.
I think I'm right in saying that you used 2 sets of tyres there, and so did Mercedes, and Ferrari only used 1. If it's a wet race tomorrow, do you think that could be a negative for you?
I think, well, Max was the one that used 2. Checo got through on 1 set, so Alonso actually did the same, you know, as that as well, and Joe. So it's not that hard on the tyre around here, so I'm not too worried about that at the moment.
And just clear this up for us. Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen. Max was going slowly, Perez catching him up. Bit of a misunderstanding. Does that just show how complicated qualifying can be here?
It is, and when you've got compare deltas in the car from previous sessions as well, it actually felt like Checo, we thought he backed off, but obviously he hadn't. But with the circuit ramping up, it all sorted itself out.
He went 3rd fastest, but we're talking behind.
So we're about to get underway then for the start of the next part of qualifying. Green light goes on and qualifying 2 is underway here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit. Gasly is heading out onto the track straight away as well. And it's taken a while, but the session is back underway. Megan, what do you think we're going to see in this part of qualifying?
Sliding.
Okay, nicely done. Josh, what do you think?
Megan, you said sliding, so I'm going to say crashing.
Okay, Synth, what do you think we're going to see?
It's sliding and crash.
Everyone is of the same mind then, it seems.
You should have said spinning.
Should have said spinning, should have said that, I should have said everything really.
The
Right.
next
Well.
one was Fireball.
Not just yet, I don't think, as well. It's a little bit out of there.
It won the track.
It would warm the track, you're right, as well. As we're just having another little crash of our systems up here in the comms box as well as we...
See, something's crashing.
Yeah, our driver tracker also is
dear.
working, but the timing screen needs to load in again. So it's just causing a little bit of a lag at the moment. But hopefully this will be fixed tomorrow. We might just take F1's TV feed completely for the race tomorrow, just in case we have more problems with the T feed like today. Anyway, bang, here comes our timing tower once again, because it needs to be reset to itself into this qualifying session as well. With the precise timing. So hey, we don't want commentary, thank you very much. We've already had enough of that with us on the commentaries as well, so we'll go over to sectors as well and get things sorted. So cars heading out there, and I'll tell you what as well, Synth, we're going to be in for an interesting part of Q2, I think.
I think so too, and I wonder if they're going to be, if it's going to be dry enough at the end of qualifying 2 that they will be able to go to the slicks already. And yeah, I think they will be going to slicks at some point in this quali, maybe Q3, but I hope already, maybe now in Q2.
I think slicks is a good option, Megs, and especially if they can challenge it a bit much, slicks might be the better alternative to what we've been seeing out there today.
They probably will be. I did check the weather earlier. I'm not sure whether it's changed since or if it was the correct weather.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to rain anymore today.
So no more rain in Singapore.
Not today.
Fantastic. I said from the Clear on the radio.
Tomorrow.
That's a different matter.
Understood.
Okay, Leclerc says it's drying up quickly, so that's a good sign that the weather's decreasing. The track has dried better. Some radio flashing up on our timing monitors as things currently stand as well. Magnus and Alonso start their lap time, so move over. If you've just joined us, this is who's been eliminated so far in qualifying. It's Bottas, Ricciardo, Ocon, Albon, Latifi. They've all been knocked out at the bottom. They've been greyed out on the timing screen, as you can see. And now we're into the much, much faster lap times to see who's going to be quicker. Leclerc, Sainz, Magnussen are all starting lap times as well. First sector for Russell's actually now starting on. First sector time for Magnussen was a 30.624, and he's just passing sector 2, so he's 2 looking quite good, Megs.
He is looking quite good. I'm really trying to figure out why. Okay, they seem to be going quite slow around some of the straights.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? It's too slow. It needs to be a bit quicker.
They're just where Hamilton is now.
Hamilton's down Raffles Boulevard at the back, yeah.
And look how Stroll does it.
Stroll's going to be a lot slower, yeah. So those on a push lap, those who aren't on a push lap, they're backing off, accelerating left, right, and centre as well, just finding the better times, yeah.
I wonder if that's a wet area.
Well, it is. It hasn't dried that much either, so it could be as we come over Raffles Boulevard and over the Anderson Bridge.
You just keep looking at it and analysing it.
Yeah. First sector time for Leclerc, though, was a 29.895. Sainz's sector times, first sector was a 30.905, down on his best sector time, as well as I am trying to get this timing screen up for you as well, because I'm on different sides of the monitors. As Norris then takes the top time, a 153.995. Gasly goes second, 154.368. Magnussen goes third, 155.131. Verstappen set the fastest sector time so far. Zhou jumps up to fourth.
Alonso!
Hey, Alonso goes second, 154.1. Great lap time then for Fernando. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Here comes the first times then in Q2. Cross the line. Sainz goes sixth. Leclerc's just behind him. Goes top. 152.343. Fastest of the sessions so far. And it's now really getting tense. Russell, Hamilton too. As that's Russell going sixth. Hamilton goes second, 153.9. Verstappen has been electric so far and has been lighting up the 2 timing screens in this sectors alone.
Stroll goes fifth with a 154.211.
Into the braking zone, over the bridge section then where the fans are. keeps on accelerating, keeps on pushing. Is he going to be any quicker? Is he going to be any better? As Sonoda goes 10th, 155.866 on the board as well.
20 seconds behind.
Is it going to be any good across it? Across the line comes Verstappen. Verstappen goes second, 152.723. The gap is 0.380. Perez goes third. That's an amazing opening lap time. What do you think, Synth?
Yeah, it's quite a big gap towards Leclerc still, but it's only Q2, of course. Down at the bottom, Sainz still didn't have a really good first lap, did he?
And it's right. We're on board with Sainz now, as you say. So going round this bit.
That's
a little bit of a wiggle first. It must have hit a wet patch.
So turn 14, yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, what do you think of the session so far?
I'm surprised there's not been any crashes or red flags with another slide for Sainz.
Megan is right,
Yeah.
give it time.
There's still 8 minutes left of this quali. And then we
Yeah,
still
and then
have...
there's still another 12 minutes after that for Q3.
Box for somebody.
That's Russell.
So Russell's coming in.
Could be a pit lane crash.
Yeah, we've had that before this weekend.
Have we?
Yeah, Sainz goes 4th on a 153.495. So time's coming in thick and fast here at the moment. And there is Carlos Honoro, the manager to Carlos Sainz Jr. And that is his sister's husband. So for Charlotte, let's hear from Leclerc.
And let me know track conditions.
It's tricky to say, it looks dry.
Oh, that's fancy.
There are just some parts of the track that are wet, which makes it very, very risky.
So this is good. Okay, so qualifying is not going to work on the T feed. The race should be okay tomorrow. I've got backup timings as well. This is George Russell into the braking zone. And has he gone straight on? He's locked up and he's done it again and just about avoids the wall. Megan.
What about the sister's husband?
Well, for Carlos Sainz's sister, her husband is called Carlos, her father is called Carlos, and her brother is called Carlos.
She should have married someone called Carlos.
She's married someone called Carlos.
Yeah, she shouldn't have.
Yeah, I know what I mean now. What were you saying, Josh?
Yeah, and now we're just waiting for Leclerc's engineer to come on and say, oh, okay, let's put the blue wet tyres on.
Yes.
Oh, she better not.
Right about the clown thing that would happen here for Ferrari as well. Send in the clowns as well.
She better not name her future son Carlos.
Could do. What do you think, Synth, then, so far?
Yeah, it's been an interesting quali. We saw 2 little moments there. Where was it? Turn 8, I think it was. That was for Sebastian Vettel. Slightly hit the wall on the end of Q1, which you didn't see, but I did when Sky went on an ad break.
Yeah, Sky won the ad break. We had the T feed open as well on the pit lane channel. Gasly crosses the line, does a 156.786. Next across the line is Magnussen, doesn't improve on his time. Alonso and Zhou are following as well, as Sainz and Norris are on a abandoned lap time. We ride with Fernando Alonso, Megan.
Yay!
Hits the curves quite nicely, doesn't he? Oh, let's hear from Charles Leclerc.
And we box for slicks.
Copy box, understood?
Ah, yes.
And slicks for Leclerc.
Does Fernando know that these curves aren't speed bumps? You're not meant to go over them.
He's probably whacking them, isn't he, as well?
Yeah.
Really taking a bump up. What do you think? What do you see, Synth?
Yeah, that's also what Lando Norris did. When was it? I think in Belgium. And it's more like karting as well. In the rain, when you take the curb, you can, it just helps you a little bit with the steering. So that's a bit of a tactic maybe Alonso uses as well now. But it's gonna be interesting to see. Is Leclerc is in the pits now, so I'm gonna wait for him when he's gonna come out on slicks.
Leclerc's coming to the pit lane as well, which is good. Apparently, Sainz is unwell. That's what we've been told. Sainz is not well.
Box now, box.
Oh, there's a problem.
No, there is.
Knee winters.
Okay, so I know Josh said they put on wets, but I didn't actually expect them to actually do it. So, Charles Leclerc requested slick tyres, and the Ferrari strategist has bolted on a brand new set of intermediate compound tyres when everybody else, with 5 minutes to go, is boxing for dry tyres. Well, this is ludicrous.
Have they not checked for weather?
This is ludicrous. Leclerc. Look. And Vettel doesn't have enough tyres available for him in this stop. Coming from the back, Yuki Tsunoda, they've all come in for dry tyres because they feel the track's good enough. But Leclerc's gone out there on a set of inters, and I don't think he'll get a lap in.
The only area he is fast at right now is that area I said that everyone was going slow at.
So, Josh, it's actually happened, what you predicted.
Oh my goodness. What are they doing?
Synth, any comment on this?
Yeah, there's still quite a lot of cars out on inters on the track, so if the softs will be faster, then Leclerc I think is still going to be safe. But the cars behind.
I am going to be making a meme. I will be right back.
Wait a minute. When they know it's likely going to be raining tomorrow, they thought, you know what? When it's not raining and the track's drying, let's waste one of the important things we need tomorrow.
Yeah, they only get 4 sets of inters. They did get an additional set this morning, so that's 5. They've used 2 this morning. They've used 2 here, so they've got 1 set of new inters left tomorrow. What the hell are they doing? Russell's out there with good sector 1, but Hamilton's also setting personal bests, but he's on intermediate tyres too, brand new set. It's Stroll and Vettel who've gone for new soft, so the only ones out there. Hamilton goes second now with a 1:52.691, so he's still finding time on these intermediate tyres, but certainly I think the gamble is for slicks. I think you can go fast on slicks, for sure. Stroll and Vettel could end this session 1-2, and we're in Q2, not Q3, or not Q1 either. This is the tail end of Q2.
It feels like Q3.
It does feel like Q3, yeah. And no one's put it in the wall and caused a red flag, by the way, in either of the 2 sessions so far.
Oh, now you say that.
And it's been wet, which is weird.
Now you say that, someone's gonna do it.
I know. Still, you've got the W Series race tomorrow morning instead, so that might be fun for you. Here comes across the line. Synthil, were you saying something there, or was that you moaning, Megan?
Me moaning.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Oh, you two sound so similar without that. Russell goes 7th, so yeah, Inter's out the tyre, softs up. And who's just come out on softs? Zhou. And this is Stroll over the Anderson Bridge.
There's a reason I didn't get up until 11 this morning.
Oh, having a little moment, it's turn 13. And, so big snap there. Slicks.
Yeah, that's one of the slowest corners of this track. That's going to be the most difficult now on the slicks.
Yeah, you're right, so this could be very entertaining. Now, remember, don't say anything with 2 minutes to go. Because I've got to introduce it all. Cross the line again. Stroll's coming quick. 9th at the moment. 2 minutes to go in qualifying number 2 here. And as things currently stand in the drop zone, it's Vettel, Schumacher, Magnussen, Zhou and Tsunoda. And everyone's out there on intermediate tyres. Ferrari just boxed Charles Leclerc. He asked for soft, dry tyres. They gave him green intermediate tyres. Brand new set. Now, Stroll is down in the first sector, so is Vettel. But the 3 drivers have gone out there on soft tyres are Stroll, Zhou and Vettel. Hamilton is second fastest. Leclerc is currently the quickest. But Stroll's having a number of moments down at turn 13, Synth. As you said, that's one of the most difficult parts of the track.
Yeah, I think Sebastian Vettel's going to struggle through there as well. We can see his onboard on the bottom left through there. Yeah, definitely. And he's slid off. Yeah, that's not going to improve your time with that corner like that. So, yeah, the Aston Martin is still struggling a bit too much.
Yeah, Megs, he was just flying all over the track there, wasn't he?
He was, though also, I am trying to figure out the thought process of Ferrari.
Ted? Oh, no, Ted, go on.
I'm trying to figure out their thought process of why they always mess up the tyre strategies.
Oh, Josh, you know Ferrari more than anybody. Why do you think they mess up the tyre strategy? Yeah, why do you think they mess up the tyres?
Because they've gone up to they've had 3 weeks off. They've put their clown masks back in the loft. They've got a bit dusty. They got them out on Thursday. They dusted them off, and then they decided to hold off, and Zoe says, I have no grip.
And he's on slicks. So that's interesting, Paul.
Yeah, so I think what's happened is they've got them out of the loft, they've dusted them off, and they've put them back on as 3 seconds until the checkered.
So here we go. Yeah, here we go. Tsunoda will be the first one to cross the line. Verstappen and Perez are coming to the pit lane. It's session over for them. Checkered flag. Tsunoda goes 6th fastest. He jumps out of the elimination zone so high you forget his size. He's only small and that was a big leap. Up to P6. Fantastic. Now Magnussen's at the last corner. Crosses the line. Goes 8th. It's the last lap faster. Everyone's going to go faster. Red Bull could be a bit of trouble here. If everyone improves, and they are. And Alonso is purple in Sector 2. And he's the driver in the cusp zone. And guess what? Our driver trackers are back. Our timings are back for Q3. Brilliant. So, here comes Schumacher. Out of the last corner. Can he find any more time as well? Norris goes P7. Schumacher's drifting in as well. Has he got any more time across the line? Schumacher? No! Schumacher's only 13th, the 1:54.370. And look at this from Pierre Gasly. He's 12th at the moment with some good sector times. Gasly goes into 6th. Alonso is out of qualifying as things stand across the line. Yes. Alonso goes 5th. 1:53.127. Stroll could get through. And Russell's out of qualifying as things stand. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. Russell's out of qualifying by 6,000. Cross the line goes Stroll. He stays 12th. Vettel, I think,
has a better chance than Russell.
I think Vettel's backed out the lap time. Russell's going too slow. Russell's backed out of it. Vettel's backed out of it. Zhou's backed out of it. And George Russell's taken the flag. So Russell is out of qualifying by 6,000ths of a second. Stroll 12th. Schumacher 13th. Vettel 14th. Zhou 15th. They're eliminated. Mercedes get it wrong. And it's George Russell who pays the price. And he's out of qualifying number 2. Wow.
Why did he not try?
Should have gone on slicks.
Yeah, also he didn't try at all during that one.
What do you think, Synth?
Yeah, I don't think slicks worked. So, to be honest, I think the engine would have been better. Yeah.
For
amazing decision from Ferrari.
Yeah, for once.
Careful, we're almost complimenting them.
The idiotas who don't know how to...
We're still going to go to Q3 now.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. Let's head for Sebastian Vettel then. Is this a moment on the slick compound tyres? He's 14th. Turns into turn 7, locks up. Actually, I think he would have made that corner if it wasn't for the lock-up. He just snatched the brakes. Yeah.
He almost did.
Stroll's lap only went away in the final sector. The pole lap is going to be set on slicks. That was for Chris Maitland. So Stroll's time was quick, and he was faster than everybody in the first 2 sectors. He was. So this pole time is going to be set on slick tyres later on. That's almost certain now.
That's going to be very interesting. It's going to be so interesting because the track is still going to be damp. And if there's going to be a red flag, it's going to be Q3 on the slicks for sure. But that's going to be very interesting to see because I think they're all going to go out on slicks from the start of Q3 today.
Does look that way, doesn't it? This is going to get what's the opposite of entertaining without being too critical of things?
Boring.
All right, yeah, it's going to get a bit boring, but it could be quite fun. This one. This could be something new as we hear that lock up again for Stroll on the inside. Intriguing is that your word of the day, Megan?
It's always my word of the day.
Car's coming into the pit lane then, as well as we just get the tweet deck sorted as well.
So is having to do work.
We're out. We heard there on the board there. So everybody finding out the correct systems, and hopefully now, by the way, our coverage is still going on, but hopefully now as well we've got our normal systems back in operation in terms of our timing towers, because we are just loading up the F1T feed, but it's actually taking a while to load up on Google Chrome because it's freezing on us. So apologies if we do go off air ever so slightly. But Josh, what do you think of that end to qualifying?
Leclerc, brilliant call from Ferrari.
Really? Brilliant call from Ferrari? I still say it was a bit of a mixed one because he didn't actually improve his lap time.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed one, as you said, but a good call from Ferrari. It's rather stay on the intermediates or risk going on the softs and putting it into the wall.
Okay. See your point. Hopefully that's going to be good. Just waiting for the timing tower to load back up again. It's taking its sweet time about it. I might have to relaunch Chrome because of it.
I think it's
as
more
well. Go on, Max.
The driver than the team.
More the driver than the team.
Mm.
Sins, what do you think?
Well, Leclerc was the one who wanted to go to the softs, so I think it's good from Ferrari to decide to not do that because it was not working and just risking, putting it in the wall.
Well, we've now got no timing screen whatsoever. Let's hear from Crofty.
It's too early for the rise. Copy that.
Okay, let's hear then from George Russell. He was 11th fastest.
Yeah, sorry guys, I couldn't do anything then. I really struggled. This is actually the same issue as P1. Oh, what a shame.
Locked up and hit the wall a couple of times. Crofty. Anthony Davidson.
Yeah, real shame there for George Russell and the other drivers that tried to go out on the dry tyres, but George he was on the right tyre on the intermediate, but just looking at the struggles he was having there, on the radio saying, I had the same issues as I had in free practice. I can see here in turn 8, the wettest corner on the track, it looks like he doesn't have the grip. So I can't see any obvious mistakes. I've had a look at his whole lap, no obvious mistakes that stand out. Just too slow, and you could hear that, his frustration on the radio. This is Vettel. I think he was getting the temperature into the tyres, but as he said on his radio, it's just a bit too early to go onto them. So Q3 definitely will be slicks at some point, and I'm sure we're going to see, as it happens, that crossover. It'll be exciting to watch.
Well, let's ask, straight to the pit wall, Christian Horner, is it the right time now for slick tyres? Sebastian Vettel said it was too early in Q2. Is it time now?
Well, in Sector 1 and Sector 2, if you look at Lance's times, it's definitely ready. The big question is Sector 3. So, yeah, that's the call that's obviously being that we're discussing at the moment. So it's right on the bubble.
The further up you expect to be on the grid is, I guess you want to take less risks, you know, in terms of if you think you're going to be in the first couple of rows, there's no point in taking huge risks, but you're obviously confident enough to go out on some slicks now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that it's just going to progress the slick through the qualifying. So I think we'd rather be on it from an early on and build and go with the track. So that's the strategy. Whether it's right or not, we'll find out in 12 minutes' time.
Who are you chasing tonight, or are you leading the way?
I think, look, you know, Leclerc and Hamilton look quick. Ferrari going out on the soft, Checo's going out on the soft. So they're all. It's going to be a fascinating session to see who manages these conditions, who goes with the track and gets the time in.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, Christian Horner. Are you ready? Stand by for all of the action coming to you for the qualifying.
Even if we need to lose time.
So, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Green light, and away we go. At the end of the pit lane, we are underway for qualifying number 3 here at Singapore. And I'll tell you one thing, guys, as well. It looks to be a major run around. Nobody knows what tyres they're going on. Ted's got news.
Some slick tyres. So, given that Leclerc was the one in Q2, the first one to have a mind to go to slick tyres, then the fitting of Inter seems a bit strange, but that's maybe why he's decided to hold station. So only the AlphaTauri of Gasly and Kevin Magnussen in the Haas are out there on intermediates at the moment. Everybody else, Fernando Alonso's just passed me, also on the dry slick tyres. And here comes the Ferrari. And I can't see any green on the sidewall. Yeah, it's the soft tyres, the slick tyres for Leclerc.
Cheers, Ted. So it looks like, Megs, they've gone straight away for what we thought they might, and they've gone straight for Inter tyres and dry tyres as well.
Good.
Cynthia, what's your prediction going into Q3?
Oh, I want to say it again. I'm just going to do it. I think this time we will actually have a crash. But I think at the start, not the final laps.
Yeah, I think we'll have a
this is the first lap for them on the slicks, so...
Yeah, it seems more likely that something will happen now rather than later. I'm just happy that we've got our timing screen back, our normal timing screen as well, because me and Megan have come to rely on our timing screen an awful lot.
I always have.
Yeah, and it's this one as well that's just perfect, isn't it? So well done to everybody at the T-Feed who have got that working for the last qualifying session of the day as well. And we'll keep our driver tracker with F1.com because we like our driver tracker because it's a lot better than the easy one. It's easier to follow, isn't it, than the other one. Josh, what do you think going into this next session then? What's your betting? Dry tyres or Inter still the way to go?
First run into, second run soft.
better the conditions at the end.
Okay, so this is going to be a better conditions at the end situation. Go on, Josh, say again.
Yeah, I think Inter's first run, soft second run.
That's the wiser call. I would have agreed with you. Several drivers have gone for softs now when they're not ready for them. Tsunoda and Magnussen might actually set better lap times. Let's see then into the giant unknown for qualifying here at Singapore. It's a crossover that they've never done in the modern cars as well. They haven't done it since 2017 as well. That was a whole different generation ago. What time is the crossover going to be to Inters to softs as well, especially with 18-inch wheels? Down Raffles Boulevard we go. Something was churning up there. Did you hear that as well?
It sounded like a
I think it's
kettle.
Sainz.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It sounded like a
Since
kettle.
right. It's Sainz's engine in the side of the screen. It's Sainz's
that's
PU.
worrying.
Yeah, good spot there, Sim. I didn't notice that.
If it
that's the car's
sounds
open.
like an old-time kettle on the hob.
It's there in the background.
Yeah, it sounds like an old-time kettle on a hob.
It really does. That's the turbo
Like-
whining away.
Like when the kettle whistles
Yeah.
when you...
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a really weird sound. Anyway, first sector times. Leclerc's not on a lap time just yet. So let's check. Verstappen 30.9. Perez 31.1, but Tsunoda on the intermediate tyres is faster at 30.297. We knew it might be the truth. We didn't expect it to be the truth this quickly. Tsunoda is quicker, and now Hamilton on the dry tyres has done a 30.119. So it's a complete guesswork as to who's got the right tyres to what part of the track. But Cynthia, I think you said as well, this last sector, it's not for dries yet. Still Inter's there.
Yeah, under the tunnel is very dry. Of course. Oh, look at Max struggling then through the final sector. Is he backed out of it now? I think it's still going.
That
This
was
is
a
going to be so
wobble.
tricky for the drivers.
Max is going to push as hard as he possibly can. Is this provisional pole position number 18 of his Formula One career on the weekend of his 25th birthday, when he could clinch the world title for a second time? He delivers a 156.940 as the provisional pole time. But Tsunoda, 155. 170. Tsunoda takes provisional pole by 1.7 seconds. Perez has backed out of it, so the third sector is still too wet.
That's 2 seconds nearly.
It's unbelievable. 1.770. Perez crosses the line. He goes fifth. But look at Lewis Hamilton. And Verstappen has gone faster in the first sector now than Hamilton. So the track's getting hotter. And the tyres are getting hotter the more laps they do.
Yeah, Tsunoda's on the Inters.
Yeah, so amazing as Leclerc goes second now. And Lewis Hamilton goes on 153.082. He is 2 seconds faster than Tsunoda. And more worryingly, he's 3.8 seconds faster than Verstappen on the same tyre. Now, Red Bull really are going to worry, but Lewis Hamilton in 2019 delivered the lap of the gods. And has he just done it again in mixed conditions?
I don't know, but I think Tsunoda's on his level right now.
Unbelievable.
Leclerc too.
Unbelievable, Josh. What do you think of this?
Wow. The stat could continue
Yeah, but
today.
well, Russell's out of qualifying. He starts 11th on the grid. Magnussen's just gone out and out lap now. So it is all down to Hamilton to take a pole position. Norris saying about recharging the energy. There's Felipe Massa. Well, nearly said world champion. Formula One driver in the World Championship from 2002 to 2017. Multiple victories in Formula One. Won it. I don't think he ever actually won here in Singapore. He was due to, but never did. Verstappen goes second and won. 154.293. He's 1.2 seconds off of Hamilton. Now,
And Hamilton's going 1.2 seconds faster again than his own time.
what's happening with now? Verstappen's got clean air. Hamilton's behind Leclerc.
Lando Norris.
Norris goes second, 3/10 off the pace, 153.397. Perez goes third, ahead of Verstappen as well. But look at Fernando Alonso!
What do they have for
Fernando's sector times are amazing, and Alonso takes pole! 152.520. Fernando Alonso has provisional pole position, and Megan now he collapses in the commentary box. It doesn't last long. Leclerc goes to Hamilton goes out.
Yellow.
It's faster. There's a yellow flag out there somewhere on the track. Unbelievable action. Yellow sector
Gasly.
3. It's
Turn
Verstappen.
18.
Is
that Gasly?
It's Gasly.
It's Gasly off the track. Here's Verstappen through the stadium sector now. I think Gasly's gone straight on again. But
Turn
Alonso,
18.
Hamilton fastest, Alonso's third, yeah. So it is Gasly. Is either no, Gasly's just gone straight on the soft tyres, having to reverse. But is that going to affect Verstappen? Where is Verstappen? Is down by 0.061 in that sector. He's approaching that zone now. Gasly's still not moving.
Gone green.
Here we go. Gasly gets going. And Verstappen is struggling out there on those soft tyres. He was fastest sector 1, but sector 2 and sector 3, Synthel, he's having no grip whatsoever.
Yeah, it's incredible. The sector 3, I suppose, is from Lewis, is incredible. And he's really struggling so much Verstappen through his final sector.
Leclerc's done. Oh, and Verstappen nearly in the wall. Verstappen very nearly in the wall there. Coming on at turn 21, a massive snap of oversteer. And he takes second. 151.395. And he's still 0.3 down on Hamilton.
Slicks aren't his friend, though.
No, and he's struggling an awful lot out there as well. But Hamilton takes pole position 104. At the moment, we've got 3:48 to go. And they're not boxing as normal, Megan.
I think Leclerc's had a moment.
He's behind Hamilton. Leclerc's backed off the lap as well. Here comes Checo. Checo to the line. Can he check out to the front row off the grid, or is it going to be row 2? It's row 2. 151.747. Perez goes third fastest overall. Josh, this is an amazing qualifying, probably even the best of the year.
Am I dreaming? No, I am not. I am having to poke myself right now. Look.
Angela's crossing her fingers. We can't hear Josh at the moment. I think we're having an internet problem on our side as well. Or maybe it is, we can hear him now. Look, Marina Bay, previous pole sitters. Josh, you told us about these as well. Leclerc, Hamilton, Vettel, Rosberg, and Vettel going backwards. It's always been either a Mercedes or Ferrari, Josh, and it is Mercedes' turn this weekend, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Ferrari was in 2019 as Magnussen comes towards the final couple of corners down towards the line, goes 8th, a 154.775. Hamilton has won every single year he has raced in Formula 1, and he has not had a win this year. Could Singapore change that?
Hasn't had a win since Saudi Arabia 2021. His last pole position came there as well. 103 races, victories, 103 pole positions. It's a nice little stat to have, and this is Gasly since coming to the sector you were warning us about.
Yeah, he's going to go straight on here. Front left, going to look on the front right actually, maybe a bit too much on the white line. It's actually, I think it's sector 2 where Verstappen loses the most on Lewis.
We want to be one of the last cars crossing the line.
Okay, Lewis has just been told he wants to be the last car to cross the line. Understood, he says as well over the radio. So Leclerc is now on a lap time as well, looking quite quick. Leclerc's up by 0.284. So Leclerc is faster, and now he's turning right behind Lewis. Lewis Hamilton's right behind him.
Technically, that means that he can get a tow.
And it is crucial here, down Raffles Boulevard. You do need a bigger tow than
Oh,
normal.
Max.
Whoa, Max Verstappen sliding bigly.
Qualifying, this is
6 tenths faster.
Track is drying, so the last one across the line will set the better time. Fernando Alonso takes pole position! A 157.37! I don't believe it!
Oh my.
Alonso and Leclerc!
He never lasts.
Leclerc goes fastest! 149.412! So Leclerc goes quicker, but as Synthel says, Max is fighting that Red Bull, and he's pushing in as hard as he can. And Hamilton too now starts his final lap of qualifying. And Verstappen is 7 tenths up, Synthel. This is amazing.
Oh, so close to the wall there. It's incredible. This final sector, that's going to be the most difficult one.
Oh, he's locked up!
Oh,
He's locked
no.
up! He's made a mistake! Hopefully he hasn't lost too much time, but Verstappen might not have just taken it.
Yeah, Verstappen's got
Alonso, and look at Hamilton's first sector, 29.169 as well, so that's not over. Verstappen might just have pole, but it sounds like he's backing out of it. Has he backed out? I'm not too sure. It's not sounding too
What
great.
is it with these three today?
Leclerc, Alonso, Hamilton.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. And Verstappen's backed out of it. He's going to go for one more lap. If he crosses the line nicely as well, he might just get across the line before the checker flag comes out as well. In 14 seconds, he will. So Verstappen will go on to one more flying lap. He made a mistake. Sainz makes a mistake coming out of turn 21 as well. Before the last 2 corners of the lap, here comes Carlos Sainz now to the line. Can he go front row, making a Ferrari double? Yes, he can. Checker flag's out. Sainz goes top, second place. 150, 149, 583. Now Perez, Alonso, and Leclerc on their last laps. Hamilton second sector faster. Here comes Perez across the line. He goes second. He's 22 thousandths off the pace.
By a lot.
149.434. Alonso's next as well. Alonso might just take pole position. Here he
Lando
is.
fourth.
Lando goes fourth. And Megan, you've got to call Alonso.
Right, Alonso comes across the line and it's...
Fifth at the moment.
He goes fourth, so he did his best.
149.966. Great job there. Hamilton. It is between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, who is down in the first sector. Verstappen's not going to do it. Hamilton might just take pole position in the line. Hamilton. Oh, he's third. 54 thousandths of a second off the pace of Leclerc. I don't believe it. The top 3 separated by 54 thousandths of Verstappen is up by 9/10 of a second. Verstappen's finding time everywhere he
Where?
looks. I don't know. Verstappen going for his second world title here in Singapore as Magnussen goes 8th. Gasly and Tsunoda will take 9th and 10th for sure. But is pole going the way of Leclerc or is it going the way of Max Verstappen? We're about to find out. Out of the last couple of corners, punching it. Verstappen going to be so sweet. Tsunoda 9th. Gasly will stay 10th. Gasly goes 7th. Tsunoda starts 10th. And Verstappen boxed it! Verstappen boxed it!
You had time!
Charles Leclerc takes pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. And it's set. Let's hear from him.
Box, Max. Box. Why? Why?
Why did they box him?
Why?
They just ruined it.
They keep he had time. He was a second up on Leclerc's time. 151.935.
Without the pit stop, he would have made
taken it. Yeah.
He would have got 48.
Yeah. So, look, Verstappen would have had pole there. I have no idea why Red Bull called him in. But Verstappen starts 8th. What?
Why box the driver you're trying to get the championship for?
I cannot believe what we've just witnessed.
Don't break the table.
It's Leclerc on pole position. Perez is second. Hamilton third. Sainz fourth. Alonso is 5th. 6th for Norris. Gasly 7th. Verstappen starts 8th. Magnussen 9th. And Tsunoda in 10th. But it had to be Leclerc or Perez
Broken the cycle.
being out of the race. But it's Verstappen starting 8th. Surely the title now goes to Japan.
It
Why?
has to.
You heard him say, why? Why? What a race we've got lined up tomorrow.
Birthday weekend too.
Wow. What's your reaction, Synthel? Oh, this might explain it, Megan. This might explain it. Out into the, is this coming into the pit lane?
This car sounds fine.
Let's hear off the radio.
What the are you guys saying? Unbelievable, mate. I don't get it. What the is this about?
We'll talk about it in a minute. Explain once you're up, Max.
What?
God.
What?
I
Well, explain it once you're out of the car. Was there a problem? They had to stop the car immediately? Did they see something?
didn't they have enough fuel or something? They didn't want to get disqualified.
That could be it. Good shout, Synth. Well, whatever
That's
it has.
so unfortunate.
Verstappen starts 8th in Singapore.
I had enough of this today. Red Bull and Ferrari, you don't know how to actually manage your team. Also, you should have put fuel in the car when you have a chance.
Charles Leclerc takes pole position, number 18 of his Formula 1 career, one more than Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez starts second on the grid. The gap between them was 0.022.
Congratulations, Red Bull. Your hopes now in Perez.
And Lewis Hamilton starts third. The gap between Leclerc and Hamilton, 0.054.
Have a good Japan, Red
No,
Bull.
Megan, I don't think you're working this out quickly.
Yeah, I know
The
I know.
gap between Leclerc
It's
and
too angry.
Perez. The gap between Leclerc and Perez is exactly the same gap between Perez and Hamilton. 0.022.
I know. I'm
Unbelievable.
just too angry to think how the hell they did that.
Naomi Shift is down in the track to interview the top 3 from qualifying. Down to you, Naomi. Well, we should be hearing from Naomi any second. Here you go.
Congratulations, Charles. Incredible lap there in front of this incredible crowd here in Singapore. For everyone here and for everyone at home, take us through that lap.
I didn't hear the end, but yeah, definitely amazing crowd, and it's great to see so many people attending the event. It's been a very, very tricky qualifying. Q1, Q2 with the Inters, then in Q3 we didn't really know what to do. We went for the soft at the very last minute, and it paid off. I mean, yeah, it was really, really tricky. I did a mistake in my last lap, so I thought we wouldn't get pole, but it was just enough, so really, really happy.
It was a challenging start to the weekend for you this weekend. What are the positive thoughts for tomorrow with what the data you've collected so far?
Yeah, I'm very happy with today's results, especially considering the Friday that we've had. We've had very limited amount of laps yesterday for some issues, but we recovered well. So we don't have much data for the race run, but yeah, if we do the perfect execution, I'm sure we can win.
Okay, well now, the first question I asked you was, take us through this lap for everyone here and for everyone at home.
Wow. It was really, really special. I mean, every qualifying in street tracks are super on the limit. And even more when it's damp like that. There are some parts of the track that are wet, so you lose the rear. But overall, managed to do quite a clean lap, and it worked well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Checo, your first front row start here in Singapore. What are you looking forward to the most tomorrow?
To that start, I think it's a good opportunity tomorrow already from the start to attack Charles and go for the win. It's quite disappointed to miss out on pole by 200s, but at the end of the day, it's a great team result. My team did a fantastic job, right goals out there, and yeah, pretty happy and solid job.
Constantly changing conditions, and as you mentioned, the margins were so tight. What do you think you have on them to get to them tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, it was so tricky to learn the conditions today, and tomorrow, again, it can be wet at any time, so it will be so important and crucial just not to make any mistake and just progress with the race. That will be critical for us.
Good luck. Congratulations, Lewis. You kept us on your toes in that session. There was a moment we thought you might have pole position. It wasn't to be today, but talk us through what this track is like for you and how special it is.
Well, firstly, hi everyone in Singapore. I was pushing so hard. It was so close. I was trying so hard. These guys are always so quick, but I really thought maybe just with a perfect lap, it was really hard to get that we could be fighting for first place, and just didn't have the grip at the last lap. But nonetheless, I'm grateful to be on the second row, and I'm grateful to the team for continuing to push. And you know, we just keep our head down. Hopefully tomorrow will be a better day.
But for the margins to have been as close as they were, and for you to have kept us on your toes, has got to be a sign of the progress that your team has made.
Yeah, we didn't know how close we would be this weekend. We knew that the car would be stronger than it was in Monza, but we didn't know how close it would be. But yeah, to lose out just by that bit, yeah, it's okay. We just get up and fight again tomorrow.
Make the most of it tomorrow then.
Thanks.
An amazing attitude out here as well in Singapore as well. Let's take a look then at how they line up on the grid then for tomorrow's Grand Prix. On row one, it will be Charles Leclerc on pole position. Alongside him will be Sergio Perez as well in second position. Then further down as well, it will be Lewis Hamilton on row 2. Alongside him will be Carlos Sainz. Row 3, Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris. Row 4, Pierre Gasly and Max Verstappen. Row 5 will see Kevin Magnussen alongside Yuki Tsunoda. Row 6 will see George Russell alongside Lance Stroll. Row 7 sees Mick Schumacher alongside Sebastian Vettel. And row 8 sees Zhou Guanyu alongside Valtteri Bottas. Row 9 sees Danny Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon, and row 10 sees Alexander Albon 19th alongside Nicholas Latifi starting in 20th. That is how the runners and riders for this Grand Prix stand as well. Well, still up in the commentary box with me as well is Josh and Synthel as well. As we heard from the top three there, let's just get immediate reactions to that session as well, starting with you, Josh, as well. Best qualifying of the year or another shambles from Ferrari and Red Bull? What's your take on it?
Oh my goodness, what just happened?
I think we're all saying that, aren't we?
Yeah, sorry guys. It was a good lap until then.
And also, Carlos Sainz agrees.
Yeah, we were hearing that radio coming through as well. Synthel, what's your take on qualifying?
I still don't know how to calm down from that one. I'm just a bit confused, I guess, why they boxed Max. But later on, I will realize that we've got an amazing grid for tomorrow's race, which could spice up. It's going to be such an interesting one. If Max really is that much quicker, he's got to try and overtake. It's going to be rain, safety cars, red flags. It's going to be one of the best races of the season and maybe of the last couple of years.
I've just had it confirmed to me as well from Chris Maitland that confirmed from Red Bull that it was a lack of fuel that meant it had to ask Verstappen to box. If he'd completed the lap, getting back to the pits might have left the car without enough fuel for the sample and could have seen him start at the back of the grid tomorrow. So that means Max Verstappen starts 8th as well. Let's talk about Lewis Hamilton as well. Great qualifying from him. I think the best of the year as well. Do you see him maybe having an attempt on the win tomorrow, or is it more likely just a podium for him?
For Lewis?
Yeah, for Lewis.
Yeah. It's so unpredictable tomorrow, and he's in P3. It's a really good spot. Ferrari will find a way to mess it up, and Perez, I don't think he's got a pace to stay ahead. So I think Lewis really has the best chance of the season to try and win a race.
And Josh, your opinion on Lewis?
If it's going to be a wet race, anything can happen, but he's definitely got a chance to win tomorrow. And today is a history in the Singapore Grand Prix books. The first back-to-back team getting pole and the first back-to-back driver getting pole here at Singapore.
Yeah, Charles Leclerc took pole here in 2019, and let's hear from Ted now, who's down in the pits.
It was that they needed to have a fuel sample. Martin Brundle was absolutely right. We'll get onto it in a minute, but there are lots of stories going up and down this pit lane. Charles Leclerc has just disappeared now up into do his press briefings and his interviews. But yeah, Max Verstappen, you can understand why he's so frustrated, because the data, Red Bull's data, shows that he would have finished that lap 2.5 seconds quicker than his previous lap. His previous lap was a 1:51.3, and 2.5 seconds quicker than that would have put him on pole position or very, very close to it. Of course, they wouldn't have known what Ferrari and Leclerc was able to do. But I did catch a quick word with Christian Horner, Simon. You might get a fuller version with him a little bit later. And he did say, look, when you're fueled for the whole of the session, like Max Verstappen was, because you don't know how the track is going to change as it dries up, you're never exactly sure how much fuel you're going to end up with on your last lap, because it depends on so many factors, so many laps throughout that 12-minute session on the slick tyres going down towards the end of the session. So Horner said that they just couldn't take the chance. They knew they were a bit low on fuel. He probably could have completed that lap, and maybe if he crawled round, might have had the 1 litre of fuel back in the tank here. But the last thing they wanted was for when that car, that number 1 Red Bull, is scrutineered by the FIA, that they would not have been able to make, just on the right-hand side, the Red Bull on the right-hand side there, they would not have been able to get that 1 litre of fuel out for the fuel test. They didn't want to take the chance, so much to Max's annoyance, they told him to come into the pits. That's the story.
Thank you very much, Ted, down there as well. And I suppose it's very much fair game, isn't it? If you're going to have a problem with the car, you've got to abandon the lap. But since he was up, if he hadn't come into the pit lane, as Megan said in the commentary, it would have been a 1:48 on the board. So he got completely sort of screwed over by Red Bull there.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe he should have just completed the lap before, where he made a little bit of a mistake, and he just decided to slow down and go for another one. But I'm sure he will still would have improved. But honestly, just tomorrow is just all the ingredients for just being the best race ever. It's got rain possibly, then it's a street circuit, and the championship leader is further back. And I think this race we will have another Lewis versus Max race for the win,
Oh.
possibly. I mean, anything can
Oh.
happen. Safety cars, red flags. Wow, I'm so excited for tomorrow.
Okay, I'm going to ask you both a prediction while we sign off as well. Josh, who's going to win the Singapore Grand Prix tomorrow?
Lewis Hamilton, and it's absolute chaos out there. Verstappen was first in Q1, fifth in Q2, and eighth in Q3. Not good.
Synth, who's going to win the Grand Prix tomorrow?
I don't know. I want to say Max again, but it's going to be a very difficult one this time out. So I'm going to say Lewis.
So, okay, both going with Lewis. Okay, I will say Leclerc will win tomorrow as well. And I think Megan has got our eyes on Fernando Alonso, as always, to win. Thanks for your company today, chaps, as well. Since very lovely to have you in qualifying as well. Hopefully we can see you. Are you around in Japan for another crazy night race commentary practice, or is it too early for you?
Yeah, I can be around for practice.
Lovely, lovely. And Josh, I presume you'll be in and out of Japan as well throughout the commentary.
I am planning to be here for every single session.
Fantastic. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, Josh. Senthil, thanks very much. Been a pleasure commentating and qualifying with you. Hopefully we can do many more qualies and hopefully a race before the season is out as well. My thanks to everyone for watching then as well, as I've now got a stitch in my chest after that qualifying. I'm going to need a bit of a lie down quite quickly, but I'm in a bit of pain, so I'm going to hurry this up as it's come on. It's Charles Leclerc who has taken pole position for the Singapore Grand Prix. Sergio Perez is second. Lewis Hamilton is in third place. Max Verstappen, if he wants to be a two-time world champion, he's going to have to do it from 8th on the grid tomorrow. Join us at 11:45 a.m. for all of the action for the Singapore Grand Prix. Good night to you all.